Hi everybody, this is Nish here from The Abundant Life, and I'm once again with this amazing, gorgeous Waleuska Lazo, and we have been talking for quite a while now, and today we are going to talk about something really very important and very, very interesting topic, which is called the placebo effect. You know, we have been hearing for decades now people talking about sugar pills and people getting well by just changing the way they think. So we are going to talk to Waleuska and ask her to tell us about her experience and also tell us how this works, what is really going on with the placebo effect, and what is the magic in this. So, Waleuska, hi. Welcome.
Hi, Nish. How are you?
I'm great. And this is really very interesting topic, and I think you have some personal experience which we'll talk about later. But we wanted to know, what is this placebo effect that people are talking about, the sugar pill and people getting well by thoughts alone? Does this really seem to work actually?
I am a strong believer that our bodies possess everything that they need to heal. So yes, I am a proponent of that. There is evidence that says that when we change our internal state, we change our external reality. And so there is the idea that we can alter our physical reality by belief or thought alone. And there are so many examples of this, Nish, throughout history, and even from biblical times where, you know, people have healed from all kinds of illnesses because they believed they could heal. So there's a very strong correlation between what you think, what you believe, and what you expect, right? Wow. So the mind can be a very powerful healing tool when given the chance. And the mind can influence the body, can convince the body that a fake treatment is actually real. And so the body heals because it believes that it's real. And that's why it's called the placebo effect, which in Latin stands for I shall please. So, you know, in studies where, you know, when they need to test a product or, you know, a new vaccine, whatever it is, they take two groups, and they, you know, one group of people are giving a sugar pill or a saline injection or a fake operation. And then the other group is giving the actual treatment. And when they compare, they see that the people that were giving the placebo, up to 60 to 70% of those people actually heal, they actually improve. And so that is our evidence of how powerful our thoughts and emotions and beliefs can be. And we have so many beautiful examples throughout history of this very thing where, you know, our faith can totally help heal us. And we have, you know, the miracles that happened in 1858 in Lourdes in the south of France, where that little girl sees a vision of the Virgin and begins to walk, and she had been on a wheelchair her whole life, right? So that's an evidence of her thought alone healed her. Or what happened in Fatima in Portugal in 1917, when, you know, the three shepherds see a vision of the Virgin Mary, and he tells them that, you know, they're going to go on and heal other people. And so they do, right? So the mind is so powerful, but it's powerful that it can heal you, but it can also do the opposite, right? If your mind can heal you, it could also make you sick. And that's what it's called the nocebo effect, which in Latin means I shall harm, right?
Yeah.
So the same way that, you know, you're using your mind to create healing in your body, you're now creating it to do the opposite.
So I think that is happening. Yeah, that is happening to a lot of people. Blood pressure and diabetes and all kinds of diseases, they are all, I guess, caused by stress, right? Everybody believes that they are getting unwell because of stress. So is that what it is when you say nocebo?
Yes, exactly. An example is, you know, there's voodoo. So now you hear that this person puts a curse on you. And so you believe in that curse so much that you end up dying because of it. And there was a case in Trinidad where a guy was given a curse, and he believed in it so much that when he died, they performed an autopsy, and there was no evidence of poison, of any illness of any kind that could explain why he died. And that's because his emotions, you know, the fear and the faith that he applied to the curse was bigger than everything else. And so he caused his own illness. And that is what ends up happening with us, that we can use the power of our thoughts to create our own reality.
Yeah, in India also we have a lot of this negative thing that is happening, which people call it as black magic. And there are people who do black magic on other people, and they destroy people's careers and businesses and lives and stuff like that. And I don't know anybody personally, but we hear about this all the time.
Yes. And so, one of the important things to know about the placebo is that, in order for it to cure you, and there are so many other people that would argue, that it doesn't cure you. I believe that it does, but it requires more than just positive thinking, right? You need to actually have an emotion that is triggered by the thought that you're having. The thought alone is not going to do it. You must feel the emotions in your body to trigger illness in your body, because that's the language of the body, is your emotions. So, you have to truly believe that the treatment that you're taking can actually heal you. Otherwise, it's not going to work, right? So you have to create a connection between your body and your mind, that there's now start to work in sync to heal you.
Wow. So our body really knows that if I have a pain, the body knows what chemicals to release to cure the pain. If I have some other illness, it knows.
Exactly. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah. So, when you believe that a certain treatment is working, even though the pill has no effect, but you believe that it's going to take away your pain, your body doesn't know the difference, right? The body, it's so beautiful, because the body doesn't know if something is happening for real or by thought alone. To the body, it's the same. So if you're telling the body and you're believing that you are getting a painkiller, or what happened in World War II with the soldiers, when the doctor needed to perform an operation on them because they were bleeding to death, and he ran out of morphine. They used a saline injection. So the soldier thought he was getting the actual painkiller.
Wow.
So the doctor was able to perform the operation.
Amazing.
It's just insanely. And so that goes to show you how powerful the mind is.
So this whole thinking about placebo has been going on since then. That's a long, long time, isn't it?
For a very long time. And, it's used every day. Every day you can tell your body to heal, and every day we can make our body sick by the thoughts we think, where we choose to put our energy and where we put our focus. If we're always stressed out, living by the hormones of stress, we're not giving the body what it needs to heal, to rejuvenate. And that's the sad part about, how most people are unconscious of how much power we actually have in what we think and feel.
So I remember you telling me once about the chronic irritation that you had on your body, and how you came about, doing so much of medicine and diagnostics, and nothing seemed to work, and how you healed yourself. Would you like to share that experience with everybody?
Sure. Thank you. And I will. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that, that you can auto-suggest things to your mind. So one example of how powerful the mind is patients, before they go to chemotherapy, they are told ahead of time what side effects they could expect. And so a lot of patients on their way to the chemotherapy, before receiving any treatment, they're already throwing up.
Wow.
Because they are connecting to that one condition, to that particular event. And so they bring it onto themselves by thought alone. And in terms of, what you were asking, yes, I was very sick for a period of about 3 years. And I went to countless of specialists, and I was put on all kinds of medications, antibiotics, steroids, terrible treatments that had severe side effects. And what happens is when you over medicate your body forgets, its own ability to heal, to generate the chemicals that it needs to cure you. And so I had to kind of detox my body from everything that they had given me for such a long time for my body to start regenerating. And it was a terrible condition because I couldn't really live a normal life. If it was too hot outside, I couldn't go out, I couldn't walk. And after being in treatments for 3 years and getting no relief, I started doing my own research, and I discovered that for every illness that you experience in your body, there is an emotional component attached to it, right?
Wow.
So what happens is, when you're living your life always in stress, always in the past, or, full of anxiety, you have all these trapped emotions that cannot be released. And eventually they manifest into an illness in your body. And that was happening to me. So I had to investigate what was it about my past or my current thinking and behaviors and emotions that was getting me sick. And I remember trying all kinds of treatments. I started doing, Reiki. I went to do energy healing. I went to the jungle in the Peruvian Amazon to even do ayahuasca in the hopes that, I could heal. And it worked. I mean, I remember coming back and feeling cured for about 3 months. And so I knew that, my illness was coming from an emotional component. What I didn't understand was that after 3 months of feeling great, the illness started to show up again. And he came back with a vengeance. And that's and I hear the story all the time, Nish, because what happens is when we start to feel better, we go back to our old self, right? So we go back to having the same thoughts, the same emotions. We start to, focus and put all our attention in that painful past.
So you go to
go ahead.
You go to the same state of mind which you were before when you had the illness, because now you feel you're perfectly fine.
Exactly. And it's something that you do unconsciously, unless you're conscious of your unconscious thoughts and behaviors, that's what's going to happen because your body is used to your old self. And so I would go back to my old ways and always, focused on everything that hurt me, the relationship I had with my parents, about my divorce, the relationship that I had after, and the betrayal that nearly destroyed me, and all the things that I didn't have and I thought I needed in order to be happy. And so that was my state of being. And so, of course, I would get sick. I was reinfecting myself. And I didn't know that, right? So it was not through a process of, self-love and taking really my healing in my own hands that I discovered that unless I was changing my thoughts and emotions for real, forever, I wasn't going to sustain, right, the wellness. So for everyone hearing out there, you sort of have to stop being who you are and create a new vision for yourself, a new person, a new reality. Otherwise, you're going to continue to get sick. And a lot of patients who have cancer and they get treatment and they get operations and they go into remission, how many examples do we have? I mean, the statistics are crazy. After 5 years, the cancer typically returns.
Yes.
And
I'm aware of that.
And that's because they go back to being their old selves. Once they get the operation, they feel great. And so, it's the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same feelings that drove them to the cancer to begin with. And so they go back to the same state. So unless you're willing to truly change yourself from the inside out, the healing is never going to be permanent.
That's very amazing. So this makes me ask you a very interesting question, that how do you really know what is the feeling, what is going on within you that is really causing you the disease and you need to change that? So you want to tell us something about what you did for yourself, for example, or how does this work?
Well, you have to think about events in your past that were very traumatic.
Okay.
Right? And if you haven't dealt with those, chances are those are the ones that are causing your illness. So you really have to go in a search from the inside out and really uncover every layer of your past and see which one it is, because we have so many layers and some of them are unconscious. You know, our brain sometimes will make you forget things in order to protect you.
True.
So you have to go back and discover every layer, and you have to, like I said, if your mind, 70% of your time, your mind is occupied thinking about things of your past, or, you know, the troubles that you have, and you're constantly, you know, living anxious and, you know, always stressed. Stress is, I would think, the number one killer, you know, in causing illnesses, because you are allocating, whenever you have a thought, you place your attention on that thing, on that person. And so all your energy goes to that. So your body is depleted. You have no energy left that your body can use for self-healing. But when you start to release your past and you start to forgive whoever it is that you blame for causing your pain, and when you let go of all of that, you now free a lot of energy and give it to your body to heal. And the body is amazing, because it will respond to your thoughts and emotions. So whatever blueprint you give your body is going to follow that, right? So if a doctor tells you that you're sick and you have a few months to live because you just developed cancer, and that's all you focus on, what do you think's going to happen? Are you going to heal, or are you going to get more sick?
Yeah, you are going to die in a few months.
Exactly, because the body is following that blueprint that you're giving it. So the key is that you have to teach your body what it feels like to, you know, to have healing, to already be healed. And that's the key. You have to connect to an alternative reality, right? Where you are fully healed ahead of the event. Because if your body can feel it, it doesn't know that it's just by thought alone, right? The body feels real. So then the body goes to work and starts to produce more chemicals that make you well, right?
So it's the feelings really that make the body understand and recognize that what is going on with the feelings generates the chemicals in your body, and your thoughts to really shift your body's state of health. Is that what it is? That
Absolutely.
How that works?
Exactly. So that, you know, they say that our thoughts is the language that our brain uses, but the emotions is the language that our body uses.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And for every negative thought, you know, when you have a negative thought, it produces an emotion. You can't just think of something without causing an emotion, right? So it's like a loop. If you have a positive thought that you are healed, now you feel an emotion, and that emotion, you know, you feel love, you feel appreciative, you feel hopeful. And so that emotion now creates a neuropeptide.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that neuropeptide tells the brain to create more thoughts and more emotions to match what you're feeling. And that's the beautiful part, that if you're constantly in a state of, you know, feeling positive and feeling grateful to the point where you have to even thank the illness, because the illness usually comes, you know, when we have symptoms. That's our body's way of communicating with us. That's how it tells us that, hey, wake up, you know, or stop. You know, there's something here that needs your attention. And so, you know, we have to be grateful for everything, because if you didn't have symptoms, you wouldn't know what to focus on and what to change. And that's what I always now teach my students, that in order, don't shame the illness, don't feel bad about the symptoms you're having, learn to thank them. And the minute that you thank your fever or your irritation or your anxiety, whatever it is, your energy shifts immediately.
So how much time did you really take to get over your illness when you shifted from, from the allopathy medicine that you were taking, and you took a decision that you are going to really heal yourself? So how much time did you take for really getting healed?
In my case was a little different. I have read cases where people actually set the intention that this is what I'm going to heal, right? And they spend an enormous amount of time thinking and rehearsing and envisioning, what it feels like to have that area heal. My case was a little bit different, because what I did is I realized how much of my time I was actually spending in pain, in always remembering everything in my life that had hurt me. And so I used a system of gratitude where I would play games with my mind, and I would say, for this day, at least just for one day alone, I'm not going to think about my past. I'm not going to remember anything that hurt me. And I'm just going to stay present in the present moment. And I started to give gratitude for everything in the moment, for my health. Wow. Even though I wasn't healthy, I didn't care that I wasn't healthy. I wanted to believe that I was healthy already. And so I gave gratitude. Yes. Because the minute you give gratitude for something, or you give thanks for something, it sends a signal to the universe that the event has already happened. Right? And that's the beautiful part. You think in advance for what you actually want to attract. So, I started, thinking very positive, always in the present moment. I wasn't thinking about what I was lacking. I was focusing on what I had. And what I noticed is that 3 months after doing that on a consistent daily basis, I had not remember complaining once about the illness. I didn't feel any discomfort, but I wasn't even aware of it, because I was so busy giving thanks. I was so busy falling in love with life and really enjoying my children, enjoying my friends, and taking advantage of all the beautiful things that I was giving, that I forgot about the illness. And so
is this
that was 5 years ago, and I have been, completely healed ever since.
You have been irritation free for 5 years. Wow, that's so. When you're talking about, manifesting your health with your thoughts and your feelings, do you think this works in a lot of areas of your life? And did this illness of yours and how you got to offer gratitude and thankfulness give birth to FMTG, for 5 minutes to gratefulness?
Yes, I think that, you can truly manifest everything in your life, because in the quantum field, there's an infinite amount of possibilities, right? Just because right now a person's sick, it doesn't mean that there's not another reality.
Yeah.
That, where they are actually healed. And it's our thoughts and our beliefs and emotions that can change that reality. So you could be really sick and reconnect to a new reality where you are healed, and so your body will heal. So you will attract what you believe. And there's a beautiful quote that says, you will heal to the extent that you believe you are healed.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's the beautiful part is that doctors, researchers, and scientists have done so much investigation on people that had spontaneous healing, and they wanted to find out what these people had, from different cultures, backgrounds, different countries, and yet they were healing. And so they wanted to know what was the common element that these people had, who had never met each other, but yet somehow they had managed to to heal their cancer, to, heal their MS, to heal their arthritis, whatever that was. And what they found is that the common thread was all these people had faith, whether it came from a religious component or spiritual component, but there was a strong element of their mind involved in their healing.
That's incredible, Waleuska. I think this is really, really amazing. And I really hope that people learn and people understand and, people connect with you and look into FMTG and really understand how to bring wellness, well-being to their own self, to their spirit, to their body, to their soul. And you have been a teacher to me and to people like me who've been following you on with FMTG. And I really want to thank you for this. And is there anything that you want to say before we end this conversation today?
I just think that, what's important for people listening is to remember that you do have power, you do have control, you do have influence over your life. You're not a simple bystander that, you're not a victim. You have so much power within. And so learn to use that power to better your life. Yeah. And I'm not advocating that you never go to a doctor or you never, take a treatment. Not at all. What I'm advocating is to be mindful of what you tell yourself and the beliefs you have about the treatment that you are getting, because you could have two people with the exact same illness, same everything, and one believes that it's going to get better and the other one is very pessimistic. The person that has a positive thought and feeling and belief is the one that's actually going to heal. So you do have a lot of power, and it all boils down to you changing your own reality by giving your brain and your body a new blueprint of what you wanted to achieve. And you will follow that blueprint. You will follow the new direction, and you will attract what you think about.
So you are telling us that we are the master of our health and our bodies.
Masters of our health. Our bodies are, absolutely. That's what I believe.
So things don't have to happen to us. We can make them happen to us, right?
Yes, exactly. Wow. We can cause an effect in our bodies, we have the power to ignite. Our bodies have an intelligence that's built in. I mean, we were built as miracles. We are walking miracles. And all you have to do is connect again to that internal intelligence that your bodies have to produce healing. We all have it. We can all do it. But it starts with what you think, what you believe, and what you expect for your life. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Waleuska. Thank you. This is really, I'm sure people are going to love to hear this. And I can't wait for this message to go to everyone and people really do something and change their lives. So let's not live a life of cause and effect. Waleuska is saying, let's cause an effect in our lives. So thank you very much, Waleuska. That's really amazing. And I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nation. For everyone watching, hopefully you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast, and you will get a lot more information. We are always discussing timely issues, and we look forward to sharing with you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.